This was an amazing episode. 910, A New World Part 1, the first part of a 4-part series from After the Flash. I I just finished crying before filming. So if my voice cracks or if I sound emotional, that's why. I'm still kind of crying because I just rewatched some of the scenes with Barry, Henry, and Nora, and I cried again. This was, I think, the best episode of the show. I genuinely believe that. My expectations were low going in 910. I won't lie. But I was so blown away at how this episode was done. This episode was directed by Eric Wallace, the showrunner. It was written by Eric Wallace. If this episode proved anything to me, it's that Eric Wallace is the best showrunner this show's had. I know that he's had rough moments, especially this season and in season 7. But man, when he has ideas and he gets good execution, he can make good crap happen. Like, it is amazing what he did in this episode. I mean, the acting, Grant's acting in this alone was, like, Oscar-worthy to me. I mean, it's always been that way, but Grant, with John Bishop and Michelle Harrison, who play Henry and Nora, I mean, it made the scene so much more emotional. Getting the OG music back, the second chance music, which is what I cried like 3 different times this episode alone, hearing that music. And then the original theme of the Flash, we heard that. Similar to the pilot, there was a lot of things resembling the pilot's episode, but with Barry crashing into a van of pillows or whatever the hell it was in the pilot, that was reshot for our Barry, so not, in regular clothes. I mean, seeing Matt's Thawne again and it actually being like not really like a time loop anything. I thought that's what it would be, but it wasn't. Cobalt Blue is resumed to be the one that threw Barry there for whatever reason we don't know. We're doing the negative Speed Force. It's going after Barry because of what he did to Thawne, killing Thawne. So in 820 Thawne did die. They confirmed that, which I didn't believe it, but they did. But it's gonna be interesting how he comes back because he's back in 913. So, but in the beginning of the episode, we saw who we all believed was Eddie. It's not Eddie because at the end of the episode, the guy who looks like Eddie says he doesn't know who Eddie is. I'm 100% confident it's Malcom Thawne, who is Cobalt Blue in the comics, and not Eddie. Why they look similar, I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out. But this is not Eddie, which is interesting. It also connects to the Blue Crystal, because they are in 2049. He works at, I think Mercury, wasn't it, or something? So, that is what we are dealing with here. And, we did get that reshot of 123 like I theorized that we would get, where Barry and Thawne fought in that house. But here's the thing. It wasn't just a reshot. They took the 123 scene of Barry and Thawne crashing through that window. They kept that in. When in 123, when future Barry, the OG timeline Barry, told season 1 Barry to stop what he's doing, they replaced it with our Barry, which was cool. But I didn't realize this right away until I looked back at it and I broke it down frame by frame by frame. Not only was our Barry there, the OG timeline Barry was there as well. So there were 4 Barrys in that house. Young Barry, which is, by the way, emotional to see him because remember the actor passed away, sadly, a few years ago. Probably why they just used the reshots, which, I mean, it worked, Season 1 Barry, our Barry, and OG Timeline Barry. Now, how do I know OG Timeline Barry was there? when our Barry came in and stopped season 1 Barry from doing what he wanted to do, you could see, and like behind our Barry, red lightning flickering on the wall in the back like there was in the original shot. But you could also see like kind of that gold lighting that resembles OG Timeline Barry. Because if you remember, OG Timeline Barry has that gold lightning, that pure gold yellow lightning. Our Barry still has that kind of like orangish yellow. It's more on the yellow side now, but it's still has that orange to it. And you could hear the sound effects of OG Timeline's Barry speed and Thawne's speed mixed. And they were fighting while our Barry was telling season 1 Barry to stop. So that theory of, our Barry taking the OG Timeline Barry, possibly, because we didn't really see what happened to OG Timeline Barry. We didn't. For all we know, he just ran back into Speed Force and died. I think that's the thing. But the other thing here is that our Barry, it was such a full circle moment too, because our Barry's waiting for this night for 9 years. And to be able to go back there for him, to see his parents one last time, and for it to be a part of the timeline now. It kind of makes you question, was this always a part of the timeline? Because we don't know. I think the more logistical answer here is that it wasn't, but it won't create a flashpoint. It might change some things, but it won't create a flashpoint. We got Joe and Singh back this episode. It was great to see Joe. He's a beat cop. Singh was a detective. Joe got corrupted by that blue stone and became... I didn't know what was going on, to be honest with you. But the next Speed Force did take over Joe, and he had powers, which was so... It's the first time we ever saw Joe with powers. Which was cool. And Jesse L. Martin killed it in that scene with Grant and the entire little fight that they had. And you could tell Grant was doing his own stunts there too, where they had to flip over a table. You could tell he did that. So again, Grant's just amazing. And then we saw that full power unleash move that Barry did a lot in season 8. They finally brought that back after 9 episodes. This was an outstanding episode. I just want to know, what in the world was Eric Wallace thinking for the first 8 episodes? Like, was he just like, we're going to save the best for last, we're going to dump all this crap out in the first 8 episodes? Like, what in the world? And Eric Wallace wrote 909, too. So it's like, Eric Wallace has this writing, but he didn't bring it out till 909 and 910. Now, 911, I'm going to be honest with you, the promo did not really hype me up any. I'm excited, but it didn't hype me up any. Because it didn't really show anything major. I think it's just Barry going through different realities and all that, and that's what we're going to be dealing with, different timelines, maybe, I don't know. But I am glad that they looped this all back. Because at the end of the day, this needed to happen. We needed this. 9 years of waiting, and waiting, and waiting, and we finally got it. And then some. Barry got to say his goodbye to Oliver last week, which he's been craving for the last 3 years. And now you're going to say goodbye to both his parents. For his mom, at least, he's been waiting 20 plus years for that. And then, or 23 years, literally 23 years. And then for his dad, he's been waiting, 7 years to say goodbye properly? And he got to do both of that. So, and this is it. We're never going to see Henry Allen again. We're never going to see Nora Allen again. As far as I'm aware, Jay and Joanne Garrick will be in the series finale. So this is not it for John or Michelle Harrison on the show. But it is it for Henry and Nora. Which I think is more than what I could have ever asked for. This is all I wanted in the final season. And Oliver. Oliver and this. That was it. So, and then they do in 9/11 through 9/13, I hope it'll be a fan service because we need it. Like now. Like, we needed it yesterday, but like, holy crap. I knew this episode would be good because it's going to be Barry centric, but I wasn't expecting it to be this good. Like, I wasn't, Now, I'm not going to lie. I give this episode a 9.5 out of 10 because the first, 10 minutes were just stupid. Mine's the first, 3 minutes with Eddie or Malcom, whoever the hell he is. Rick Hosnet. Whoever the hell he was playing this episode, when it was Eddie or Eddie or Malcom, I also remember he was in Joe's house, so, that's something. What the hell he's even doing there, who knows? But, obviously it's in the future, 2049, because otherwise it wouldn't really work. But yeah, the first few minutes following Eddie and following up to when Barry got taken to the year 2000 to, meet his parents again, see Thawne. It was all about Team Flash. Like, it was in some crappy suit that Chester made, and I don't know what it was. I didn't pay attention to that. Keone's powers were explored more. I didn't really care for that either. Probably the first time this season I didn't care for Keone, because I was so focused on Barry. I was just like, let's, show Barry here. I will say this. The fact, and this is why I think 910 worked. It was all about Barry. All of it. And it wasn't just because the timeline, Barry was going through time, because he's doing that in, I would say 9/11. We don't know about 9/12. I assume he would be too. But, it's definitely going to be an interesting situation for 9/11. Because my expectations are high now for 9/11. But again, that promo didn't really do anything for me. It wasn't like, oh, it's going to be an amazing episode. Holy crap. Like, we didn't see anyone in there. Like, the only people we saw was who we have now. Barry, Team Flash, and Iris. That's who we saw. So, my expectations won't really be up from 9/10 till we get the early reviews of 9/11, which will probably be out like a day or two before the episode airs, like they were for 9/10. But, holy crap. I know I keep saying that, but it's literally just like, how did season 9 go from such a crappy season, like 85% of the time, to a whopping, amazing standalone episode for 909, and the first of the 4-part finale of the series, and it's like the best episode of the series. One of the best episodes of the series, I'll just say. Easily like a top 5 for me. Easily. Like, what the hell? Where was this, Eric? Huh? I said this last week, too. Where has this writing been in season 9 and season 7? Eric Wallace is an amazing writer. So where the hell has this all been? Did Eric Wallace just throw Red Death in here to be like, we need filler crap, so here's Red Death and here's 3 fillers? Huh? What the hell? What? I'm still emotional. I'm still blown away, and just thank you, Eric Wallace, because this is the episode that we needed and that we deserved for those who stuck around since season 1, 2, and 3 days, and then past that through the rough days, we needed this. It's been a rough, I think, several years for the show for a lot of us, but I think this is when that wait and that patience with the show finally pays off. I think this is what everyone's been waiting for. This felt like a season 1 episode, as it should have. But it still kind of brought in that, season 8 feeling which was something we haven't gotten this season with the Season 8 vibe of Barry being leveled up. Besides 901 with Barry facing that nuke, but I mean, this is like the first episode this season where it legitimately felt like Barry was OP as hell. And not needing help. He was by himself. Using his powers, using them correctly. This is the Barry I've been wanting since the pilot that we got in Season 8, that we lost in Season 9. And now we have him back. Maybe this is that push that Barry needed again for whatever reason to realize what he's fighting for. Is that what we were doing? Because if it is, fine. I don't care as long as Barry's like, powerful again. Great. But I'll tell you what, if 9, 11, 12, and 13 stay at this level, I might rate this arc better than anything the show's done. I'm not even kidding. I'm genuinely considering that right now. If the arc upholds, the writing upholds, and Arrow doesn't screw it up at 9/11 or 9/12, we're looking at a solid 3 episodes left now. And I'm on here for it. Thank you guys for watching this video. Have a good day. Have a good night. Stay safe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.